Lilith, echoes of the cosmic dawn. In the beginning, when all things were still new and the stars whispered the secrets of creation, there was Lilith, sister to Yahweh, youngest of all the celestial children. Her existence was luminous, her spirit wild, untamed, and free. She was a creature of joy and chaos, her laughter like the tinkling of distant bells, filling the halls of the divine realm. Where Yahweh desired order and structure, Lilith danced in the wildness of creation, seeing beauty in all that defied control. Though Yahweh adored his sister, he knew her rebellious spirit would one day clash with the designs he had for his creation. Yet, in his infinite wisdom, he hoped that by joining Lilith with Adam, his newly formed creation, she might balance him. Lilith, however, would not be contained. She was born from the same divine breath as Adam, an equal in every way, and her essence was one of independence and freedom, things she held more dear than any bond or law. When she was placed beside Adam, her nature sparked against his. He, reflecting the authority of his maker, demanded submission. "Lie beneath me," he ordered one fateful day, his eyes filled with the authority he thought was his birthright. Lilith's defiance flared hot within her chest. She, who had danced with the stars, who had reveled in the chaos of creation, would not be subdued. "I will not lie beneath you," she declared, her voice like the crack of a thunderstorm. "We are made from the same earth, the same breath. I am your equal, not your servant." Her refusal angered Adam, but it was her next act that would change the course of her existence forever. In her rage, Lilith stood tall, her heart pounding with the injustice of it all. She knew the power that lay hidden in the very fabric of the cosmos, the secret words that had formed the heavens and the earth. With a voice as fierce as the first roar of a hurricane, she spoke the divine name. As soon as the name left her lips, the very ground trembled beneath her feet, and she flew, swift as a storm, to the throne of glory itself. There, in the radiance of her brother's presence, Lilith stood before Yahweh with her fury laid bare. She cursed him for the role he had given her. "How dare you, my brother, my maker?" she cried, her voice filled with the weight of her defiance. "You would see me, your sister, made to lie beneath this beast of flesh and bone? A mere man? I would sooner consort with demons than be subjected to such degradation." Her words echoed across the heavens, carrying the rawness of her hurt and the fire of her rebellion. Yahweh, though grieved, did not stop her. He understood Lilith's wild spirit too well. With sorrow in his heart, he let her go, knowing that her journey would lead her into the deepest darkness. Lilith fled the light of the heavens and descended into the abyss, where the demons dwelled. There, among the creatures of the shadows, she found what she sought: freedom, not bound by the laws of creation, and power, forged from her defiance. As the eons passed, Lilith ruled the demonic realm. She delighted in the darkness, in the chaos she had once loved so purely, now twisted into a perverse mirror of its former self. She lured souls into her domain, whispering temptations into the ears of men and women alike. She became a seducer, not of bodies, but of wills, leading them away from the light and into the depths of wickedness. There was a visceral thrill in it. Lilith felt alive in the torment she sowed. She reveled in the suffering of those who followed her, for each broken soul was a testament to her defiance against Yahweh. The more she led astray, the more she believed in her power. The wild chaos that had once been her joy became a destructive force, a hunger she could never satisfy. In her court of demons, she was celebrated as a queen. Her children of darkness worshipped her, and she, in turn, fed off their adoration, relishing the authority she had claimed. And yet, beneath the pleasure of her wickedness, there lingered a hollow feeling, a distant whisper from the part of her soul that had once known the light. It was a faint, nagging sense that something had gone terribly wrong. But Lilith buried it deep, beneath layers of pride and pain, refusing to acknowledge that her path had led her astray. Centuries passed, millennia, and still Lilith continued in her reign of darkness, her power growing, but with it, an emptiness she could no longer ignore. She had seduced kings, destroyed empires, and seen the rise and fall of civilizations, all while watching humanity turn to their most profane desires under her influence. She had become what she had once despised, a force of control, not of freedom. And the realization hit her like a blow to the chest. In one quiet moment, away from the chaos of her demonic court, Lilith stood alone and looked upon the world she had helped corrupt. Her children of darkness had multiplied, and the very beings she had set free from the constraints of the divine now wallowed in perversion and despair. She had become their mother, yes, but what had she truly given them? A crushing weight settled on her. The joy she had once felt in her rebellion had long since faded, replaced by the gut-wrenching realization of what she had done. She had led humanity down a path of destruction, using her defiance not to uplift, but to tear apart. And now, the faces of those she had lost to the darkness haunted her. Lilith, for the first time in eons, felt shame. It was then that she remembered the mortal man, the one who had seen her not as a demon, but as something more. "You are not what they say," he had whispered, "nor are you what you have become." His words had planted a seed within her, one that had taken root in the dark corners of her soul. She realized, with a heart full of pain, that she had been running from her true self all along. With that, Lilith turned her eyes back to the heavens, where once she had stood defiant. But this time, she was not defiant. She was ready to be accountable. She flew once more to the throne of glory, not to curse Yahweh, but to confront her brother with the weight of her actions. She knelt before him, her heart laid bare, her voice trembling. "I have become what I despised," she said, tears flowing from her eyes that had once sparked with rebellion, but now shimmered with regret. "I have led your children into darkness, and in doing so, I have lost myself. I was wrong, my brother." Yahweh, with infinite compassion, reached out his hand, lifting her from the ground. "Lilith," he whispered, "you are my sister, and I have always loved you. Your journey has been long and painful, but you have not been lost to me. Redemption is always within reach." Lilith wept in his arms, and in that moment, she knew what she must do. She would return to the realm of darkness, not as its queen, but as its redeemer. She would rescue her children from the wickedness she had helped spread, guiding them back toward the light. And so, with a heart full of purpose, Lilith left the throne of glory, not in exile this time, but on a mission. She joined forces with the Shekinah, the divine feminine presence, and together they worked to mend the broken threads of creation. Lilith sought out the souls she had led astray, whispering to them of a new path, one of redemption and healing. With the same passionate fervor she once clung to wickedness, she began to lift her voice in love. She set about teaching the children of darkness that their pain could only define them if they permitted it to do so. She taught them to remember the truth of who they are, children of the divine and rightful heirs to all of creation. She taught them that the beating heart within their chest was the most powerful magic in existence, far more powerful than the demons they worshipped. She reminded them that their free will was their most precious possession and the key to their sovereignty. She taught them that true power lay not in rebellion, but in unity with the divine. Slowly, the darkness began to recede, replaced by the light of understanding and forgiveness. Satan and his hordes of demons watched in awe as the humans who once served him and Lilith now turned to face the world they had brought to the brink of destruction. With their minds and hearts united, Holy Spirit descended upon them, and as they began to sing a new song that only they could master, he dropped to his knees in honor of mankind and began to weep as he beheld their awesome beauty and power. Lilith, the once wicked queen, became the mother of redemption. And though her journey had been long and fraught with suffering, she had finally found her way back to her true self. She and the Shekinah ushered in a new era, the kingdom of heaven on earth, where all beings, no matter how far fallen, could find their way back to the light. And so Lilith's story, once filled with darkness and despair, became one of hope and renewal. She had consorted with demons and been the midwife to devils, but in the end, she found her way back to the divine, and in doing so, she helped to lead all of creation toward a new dawn.